Tell us about the benefits of the Nursetree arch, Michael.
The benefits are many. Many people, first of all, have to understand this is not really a greenhouse like you've known a greenhouse. It's not a hoop house. Those have many similar benefits to what I'm doing here, but they also have things that are problematic. One of the biggest is how they handle heat. And you won't notice a lot of greenhouses in people's backyards in Tucson because it gets so hot, particularly glass glazing, that the amount of energy you have to put into keeping it cool is fierce. This cools itself naturally by creating a microclimate where the transpiration off the leaves of these plants actually keep it about 80 degrees underneath.
Mm-hmm.
It might be 98 up here, it might be 104 or 110 out there, but down here it's going to be in the 80s,
Cool.
right where they need it. And what that does, that keeps the ground from drying out. It keeps the leaves in a more sustainable place. It's the container that creates this microclimate, especially when you don't have trees or you really can't grow in an understory like I'm doing outside. And we'll go to the mounds in a minute and I'll show you the same effect just caused by the canopy of the trees out there. But that's one of the biggest pluses of this.
But you can't get this extreme control just by having trees, because I have trees myself.
Yeah.
You can't grow a papaya. I, in fact, had an avocado because I had a mesquite tree, but it won't go all the way for you like this.
Yeah. So I think that's the major benefit. If you're actually helping to control for the plant's own ability to thrive. And by the other benefit, of course, around here is the wind is a fierce agent, especially in May and June.
Yeah.
And windstorms come up, you don't know about it, you're away at work. I don't worry about it here. This top 4 feet of Solex around here is very protected. It can be windy. The aluminate is helping to break some of it up. You just don't have the stripping power in a wind event inside here.
On the ground. You got 4 feet of protection.
I'll tell you, I was worried back in April. It was heating up like crazy in here. And the reason it was heating up like crazy in here was the plants weren't mature yet. As soon as these plants got over 3 feet high and they started to have their own understory, the whole thing changed. And my fears went away. I was so thankful. And it wasn't something I really understood I was doing. It was a learning. So really, these plants really are cooling this environment.
Is this fan that's installed right here, does that have to do with just moving the air in the understory?
It just has to do with gentle circulation in here.
So like mold and stuff. Yeah.
And I haven't seen any mold, although I have to say I've had a lot of mushrooms.
I'm going to be curious to see if the ugly tomato worm wants to come and visit you here.
I have already encountered the ugly tomato worm and spider mites. And basically what I learned I had to do in here before my mist system really started operating was on the hottest days, come in here at 1 in the afternoon and give it a quick spray. I'm spraying down the leaves, I'm spraying down the plants, and when I did that, I found my hornworms, and I got rid of them. I got rid of my spider mites are under control now. The cucumbers.
You mean you washed them off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cucumbers are coming back. I've used a little bit of insecticidal soap, but that's it. And so,
they look fine.
But I do think one of the things about this is it's once you create this environment, you have to manage it.
Like a greenhouse.
Like a greenhouse.
Right.
So it's not something you can just walk away from completely. You have to be out here in the morning. You have to be, like I said, during the hottest days, paying attention to this. In order to mitigate that, I've created, I put in a Mist King misting system in here, which I can time if I can't be here during the middle of the day, and it provides some protection as well.
And so that's just housed down here in the floor?
Yeah.
So all of your equipment is all up here in the front, from the Arduino to this, so it's all wired easily. You're not going to have any issue.
And actually the fan, I'm looking forward to the fan being powered by solar. It would be a no-brainer to do that.
And that's your really only electrical thing that's all the time?
Yeah. And the Mist King system, I'm looking, it's a 24 volt DC system the pump is.
Uh-huh.
And so I do think that could get done easily with solar as well.
And so that runs all around this right here.
Yeah.
And that mists it and cools it off, obviously.
Sure, and I'll turn it on for you.
Just like the ones, I used to have one on the porch. They're neat. There it goes, cooling off. Very cute. Where's the pump? Is the pump by me?
It's right here.
Somehow it's the sound is coming bouncing right into my ear.
Yeah, the pump is right down here.
It's so cute. No, any plant would want to come and live here.
As soon as you turn that mister on, you can feel the temperature dive. Now, when it's off, it runs back up. But I believe, from my experience, that even just short amounts of that kind of temperature during the midday, a couple or 3 times, will get these things through without harm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they would love any
Yeah.
yes. That's great control. So you can catch rain with the panels. You modulate the extremes of temperature in the ground and the air by using this dugout system.
Subterranean heating and cooling.
Subterranean
Big long word
heating
that I'd
and
like
cooling.
to find a better term for.
Underground air. And then you mist them if they need it. So I've known some people with greenhouses that develop problems, and I can see why it'd be easier to solve in here. Just because air comes in.
Yeah.
Just because you have, you know, a real atmosphere. And once you're trapped in a greenhouse, things spread hellishly fast.
Oh, yeah. And it's still open to beneficial bugs and
Right.
Right. You know, it's
You could. I wonder what would happen if you like ordered some mantises or something. That might be cool.
yeah.
Well, I love it, Michael, and I actually am a customer. Have you ever considered building one around a plant?
I actually have on the design board here building these so that you can build them around a tree sapling.
Oh yeah, you were telling us about that. That's a good
with
idea.
a growing bed by it, and then as the tree really begins to mature, you move the arch. It wouldn't be an arch with all of the subterranean stuff.
No, the basic
but
unit.
the basic, and you move it after it had done its job of protecting the young tree, and the tree now has fully rooted and it's able to care for itself. Then you move it. You move the arch, and you plant another tree.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I'm thinking about that for some of these school properties that are abandoned and people are trying to convert into food forests.
Well, next you have to come to my secret garden and talk about how we do this at my house, because gardening is a big deal for me. And my 4 new baby Passiflora edulis are a big deal to me. So I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's got incredibly great potential, Michael. Thanks for showing me.
The other, I'm happy to show it to you. I want people who see this to realize that this is like the full thing. This is reaching my whole dream. But I had a stage here, for instance, where I used 6 mil plastic, polyplastic, very inexpensive, just like you would with a hoop house. You can do that with this. You know, there's a lot of ways.
Yeah, but when you compare, you know, what you get out of these higher quality materials, I'm sure it's a better deal.
It's a bigger,
because the plastic's going to degrade.
Exactly. It's a bigger initial investment, but like you said, I didn't want to be messing around with it. You put the poly on, and then it looks awful.
Right, that too.
People don't like having that in their backyards.
Well, mine's across the street, but here's my thing. People break into greenhouses in Tucson, you know, just because they do.
Yeah.
And this looks less, you know, hey, look in it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you don't see in my garden.
Right.
It's not what you think.
Right. Right.
So, anyway, is that a Hawaiian papaya or a Mexican?
I have no idea, because it was whatever was at Trader Joe's, and the seeds got in my compost, so that's how.
Were they small and round, or were they long?
The seeds?
No, the papaya you ate.
Oh, they were round.
Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are hermaphrodites. I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah.
So thank you, Michael.
You're quite